We're starting a new series today called Happily Ever After and Everything Before. You've probably heard that phrase, happily ever after, like at the end of a fairy tale or in a Disney movie. But for us, this is real life. And that's much bigger than any fairy tale. At the end of the day, isn't being happy something that we all want? I bet if I were to ask you to share your happiest moment in life so far, you'd be able to do it no problem. But on the other side of that, what if I were to ask you to share about the worst day you ever had? The exact opposite of happily ever after. When you think of it, you probably don't like the way that it makes you feel. I know I don't. Whether we realize it or not, we all get a little uncomfortable with feelings that aren't, well, all happy. Instead of feeling the unliked, uncomfortable, or unwanted feelings that come with the moments like this, we want to push them away, push them down, not feel them at all. Happiness is a feeling that we like, a feeling that we enjoy. But the rest of those feelings, well, they're a lot more complicated. Rather than ignoring them, what if we found a healthy way to move through the uncomfortable feelings? To begin, we're going to look at the book of Matthew. It talks about Jesus' birth, his ministry, and what he did with his friends, the people that we call disciples. Today, let's look at something that Jesus said that probably didn't make a lot of sense to the people that he was talking to back then. It's found in Matthew 5:4. Happy are those who mourn. God will comfort them. To mourn is to feel or show deep sorrow or regret for someone or something. At first glance, it almost seems like Jesus was saying that we can be happy and sad all at the same time. We can't forget the second part of that verse, though. God will comfort them. The reason we can feel all those uncomfortable feelings is because of God. All throughout Scripture, we find real stories of real people who felt really big feelings all the time. God knows how we feel. I mean, he sent his only son here, and we can see through the life and ministry of Jesus that this is true. He had brothers, and I'm sure that means that they argued. I know one of his brothers didn't believe Jesus was the Messiah until he rose again from the dead. Jesus had a best friend who died as well. Oh, and his cousin died, and his dad died, which means he understands losing someone he loves. Jesus was also betrayed by one of his friends. Jesus cried, felt pain, and he knows the sting of betrayal. As humans made in the image of God, we are free to feel. And we can see that from Jesus' life. Life is so much more than just one happily ever after. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing. We may want happiness, but we can't really get to that happily ever after without passing through a lot of other feelings along the way. It's all part of what ultimately helps us experience and appreciate the happiness that comes from the presence of God in our lives. It's why you are free to feel. Not just one feeling, but every feeling. I look forward to seeing you guys next week.